Central America, as a region, falls behind in terms of progress as compared with the rest of Latin America in outcomes related to women. The countries of Central America, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama, have taken important steps towards increasing the inclusion of women and improving their social and economic outcomes. But the persistence of gender norms that limit women's roles and voices remains a key obstacle to increasing economic and social inclusion, where an inability to ensure women's equal access to education, healthcare, and employment has hindered social and economic progress. According to some sociologists, women make many of the decisions that determine a household's participation in the community, including healthcare, educational, and cultural decisions. In terms of society at large, they help to ensure the stability, long-term development, and progress of nations. Women often work better as collaborators and teammates, making them ideal candidates for community organizations in which decisions must be made together. While these tendencies might not be global, increasing the role of women in the community can lead to more cooperative and organized institutions that seek to improve the life of all its members. In terms of the development of a community, women are key in order to reduce gender inequality, push education, provide for the needs of the family, and ending centuries of discrimination. Also, in many families, women are the main decision makers and are more in tune with the community and its needs. According to the Global Gender Gap Index, which is an index designed to measure gender-based gaps in terms of access to resources and opportunities in countries rather than the actual level of the available resources and opportunities in those countries, Nicaragua currently places 12th in the world for gender parity. On average, countries in Latin America and the Caribbean region have closed 72.1% of their gaps. And the highest performer, Nicaragua, 79.6%, women's lives have significantly improved since the Sandinista Revolution in 1979, but there is still much to accomplish and change. Nicaragua is among the countries in Latin America and the Caribbean to ratify the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, which aims to promote women's rights. The Human Development Report ranked Nicaragua 106 out of 160 countries in the Gender Inequality Index in 2017. It reflects gender-based inequalities in three dimensions: reproductive health, empowerment, and economic activity. Nicaragua, like many other countries in the region, has yet to achieve overall gender equality. Women in Nicaragua are more likely to face poverty than men, and rates of violence against women are still very high. Gender equality in Nicaragua is making great progress, and the country outperforms many others in closing the gender gap. But in spite of this, rural women and girls face persistent structural constraints that keep them from fully enjoying their human rights and developing their full potential. However, these women play a crucial role in supporting their families and communities, generating income and improving the livelihoods and overall well-being of all those around them. Women represent the majority of the population, and yet development opportunities are still more available to men. Men are more likely to finish primary education and continue studying than women. Only 39% of rural women complete primary education. Many girls between the ages of 15 and 18 have dropped out of school, are married, and/or have one or more children. Often women raise their children alone while confined to agricultural or other low-paying sources of income. Rural living conditions are difficult as women have less access to services, less contact with the state, and poorer education outcomes. This is shown in less access to education, health, employment, and other economic structures. Nicaraguan women are looking forward to inclusive opportunities for improving their own lives and their community. They have taken the initiative to better their living conditions by becoming increasingly visible in community work and non-governmental organizations like CEPAD. CEPAD is working to empower women through our Women's Entrepreneurship program, where women in vulnerable rural communities receive trainings on self-worth, managing a business, investing well, and how to keep an accounting record before receiving a small seed fund to start their own business. Many of these women open up bakeries, corner stores, sell Nicaraguan food, or care for pigs or chickens, among other things. These new businesses allow more income to support their families and improve their community's economy. As their businesses grow, so do the number of opportunities they have to overcome poverty. To ensure that all communities are including women in the decision-making process, CEPAD works to have half of the Community Development Committee be female. Not only does this affirm women in leadership roles, but it helps the communities to see men and women as equals. While there are several women in CEPAD's organic farming program, many do not have the land to cultivate as many crops. To include more women by empowering them through food security, CEPAD has a separate family gardening program, specifically for mothers, where they learn many of the same techniques as those in the farming program, but are instead taught how to garden in their yard around their home. Not only does this ensure that the younger generation is being fed a nutritional diet, but many women are also able to sell their produce, creating a steady income for their family. When you lift up the economic status of women and provide them with the opportunity to address their needs, you lift up the economic status of families and community. Yes, women's education and access to politics has increased significantly in the last years. Nicaraguan women have achieved a lot, but it is only the beginning. And we are committed to walk and work with them until equality in rights, access to resources, and opportunities become a reality for all of them.